Hi again. Welcome in, welcome over. Thanks for being here. Today I am stoked to talk about the Vata dosha and tips and tricks for balancing Vata. Keeping it balanced is way easier than bringing it back when it's completely out of whack. And yet it does work. The techniques just take longer to work if the imbalance is like way out of whack. So I have 15 items to cover. So here we go. Number 1, when in doubt, balance Vata. Vata is air, and air is literally everywhere. And the other two doshas depend on air to kind of fuel and regulate them. So you can never go wrong by balancing Vata. Number 2 is to accept that Vata's main quality is dryness. They have dry hair, dry eyes, dry mouth, dry skin, dry constipation. And something that can address that is internal and external oleation. The word oleation just means oily. So internal oleation would be consuming the right types of oils and fats. Vata is probably the least likely to voluntarily consume fat. And consuming the right type of fat is essential to soothe the dryness, the irritation of the dryness that is pervasive in the system. So something that you should definitely have in your pantry is something called ghee, Ghee. And that is clarified butter. So it doesn't have the trans fats. It's all the fat solids have been removed from it. And so it is very soothing. And I highly recommend everybody have some in their pantry. External oleation is simply making sure that your skin is well oiled. And for Vatas, it's especially important. You can definitely buy a special blend of like herbal Vata massage oil, and you can get the ghee at the same market, I'm sure. But I'm also here to tell you that there's no need to spend a lot of money. Number 4 thing for Vata is stick to a schedule. Having a schedule is a mental comfort. And because Vata will go off kilter, mentally pretty easily, they're natural multitaskers, but they're also very distractible. And sticking to a schedule is the way to go for them. Make a habit of putting oil on the soles of the feet. No joke. Whatever your choice of oil is, just rub a little bit take your foot in between both your hands and just go up and down a couple times. Front of the foot, back of the foot, and then put on your nice cozy socks or whatever it is you're wearing. Hang around in your bunny slippers for a couple of hours. Colors that help balance Vata would be browns and beige, soft orange, red, or yellow. And by soft, I mean not bright and never ever neon. Of the 5 senses we have for our physical world, the sense that Vata is in charge of is hearing, because air. So please make sure that when you want to keep Vata balanced, you fill your ear space with pleasant sounds. No yelling, no anger, no, nothing upsetting. You can even listen to podcast, which is fine, just no true crime stories. Spices. The best spices for Vata to consume and smell: cinnamon, cardamom, and mild ginger. And I'm keeping ginger on there because ginger is a tridoshic, item. It helps everybody. It just matters if you use a little bit or if you use a lot. That's all. Number 9 would be to have a sadhana practice. Sadhana is the word of divine prayer, divine devotion, divine practice. And it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you do it. And get on a schedule if you can. It could be going to church, get you that certain intent to connect with that divine part of yourself. People like church for that reason. But it doesn't have to be a group at all. It could just be you, yourself, and spirit. Stay warm no matter what the weather is. On windy, warm days, you'll see Vata people, bundled up as if it's a snow blizzard. Being exposed to the wind is very upsetting to a Vata constitution, and also getting cold, because once they're cold, it's very hard for them to warm up again. Number 11, everything for Vata balancing has to be soothing, including companionship. And I really hope that you'll pay attention to that. If you are having, a hard time getting people to respect your spiritual path or things you want to do for your own health and increased wellness, that can be a real challenge. And the challenge would throw off your constitution. So I'm just speaking of the emotional upset that it could be. So please be careful. For activities, we want calming yoga, tai chi, walking, and gentle swimming. And gentle swimming is to be a soothing experience. And I talk about the difference in athletics between the Vata swim and the Kapha swim. The Vata swim is soothing and it's slow, and the Kapha swim is like, we want you to do laps, buddy. Okay, maybe not that, but I hope I'm making my point. Experiment with a retreat day for yourself. A day where you do all the good stuff that you know is so good for you. Turn off the phone, turn off the TV. Well, maybe not the TV if you want to watch something, but just listen. Think of the music that's piped into a spa or a retreat center, and it's just that nice, under-stimulating music. So if you can get a few hours of that and then do all the techniques, the exfoliation and the oiling and the tea and the, cooking Vata food for yourself. Just really pamper yourself in an Ayurvedic way. It makes a big difference. Number 14 is full body exfoliation on a monthly basis. Now with Pitta's recommendation will be like bi-monthly. But Vata needs to have like an ongoing, though not overly frequent, exfoliation. And there are warnings when I describe the body scrub recipe. There are warnings about not going outside, things like that, if you're going to do that with your skin. And number 15 is a hodgepodge of like a few things. Stoke your Agni if you're Vata. Don't over produce, don't over stoke it. But just make sure it's really strong so that when you digest things, you'll have less gas, less bloating. Remember to eat your biggest meal of the day between the hours of like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that pretty much covers, the hours where the sun is highest in the sky. And the fire element of nature is strongest. So that means that we're getting help from nature to digest our food during those times. Does that make sense? You can journal, set boundaries for yourself, to feel safe, warm, and protected, and get familiar with spices that you may not be familiar with. Order a couple of masalas. If you're in the store and you're shopping for ghee and massage oil or essential oils or something, pick up a spice blend and just experiment with that. So I hope there's some good stuff in here. Most of it's very easy, not to be confused with being ineffective, because they are effective and you just need like a little bit of consistency and you can see a real difference happening. I'll see you next time.